Howdy folks, welcome back. It's Gary. Appreciate you stopping by today. We've got a little project going. I wanted to show you that first because I want to give you a little tip right off the bat. If you notice, we're cooking some pinto beans, and it's going to go in a casserole, so to speak. We've got church tonight, and I always try to cook them something on a Wednesday night. And we're going to throw that casserole together today, but I wanted to show you that first and give you a little tip. When you're cooking beans, one of the things you want to be careful of is, and most people do this, I used to do it until an old cook told me different. You're boiling those beans and you're getting them, you got them up to temperature and they're cooking. When you go to the tap and put some more cold water in those beans, it stops the cooking process. Makes your beans tough, and it just messes them up. So if you'll notice, I had another pan there of boiling water beside that, and I just put it down on simmer and let it cook. And then when I need some more water to put in my beans, I just pour it out of that pan. The cooking process keeps going, and it makes your beans a whole lot better. Just a little tip to start off with. But we're going to make I don't really know what you call this. It's kind of like an enchilada. It's got chili in it. It's got beans in it. It's got onions. It's got all the fixings of like an enchilada casserole. It's got tortillas and hamburger meat, and it's just a cheese. Got to have cheese, right? So we're going to make this for the church tonight, and we're just going to put it together, and then when I get to church after a while, I'll stick it in the oven down there and cook it. But I'll show you how we put this together. Alright, let's put this together. Let me show you what we got here. I'm going to spray this bottom of this. And this is going to be for church tonight, so I'm going to cook it down at the church. I'm going to put it together, and I'm going to show you how it goes together. This is a real good, tasty meal. It's pretty easy. On the bottom, corn tortillas. Kind of overlap them a little bit. About like so. And to that, I had some homemade chili, but I didn't thaw it out. I forgot. So we're gonna go with canned chili today. Hormel, whatever you got, it's okay. Doesn't matter. But to the bottom of that, you know those wonderful beans that we cooked earlier? Well, we're going to add a layer of beans. Don't have to cover it. This would be a meal in itself to me right here. Just going to cover. Put a few, and we're going to layer this so you don't, if you got 50 people to feed, layer it up there good and high. We're not going to do that. Now, it's cold, it's January. We're going to sprinkle that with some ground beef that we fried. We've already fried this ground beef up, so it's already done. Just going to put a little bit of that on there. Don't need much. We're just going to fortify that old cheap chili is what we're doing. To this, we're going to add this right here. Preacher's possum salt. My buddy Harold over at the Preacher's Day Off gave me a Christmas basket this year. And this possum salt was in there. And this is stuff that he made, that he grew. These peppers came out of his garden. We're going to put just a little bit of that to taste. This is good stuff. I'm going to tell him he ought to sell that. We're going to add some diced onions that we got. Then we're going to put a little chili in here. And this, you're not going to be able to spread this all out. It'll all mix together when it goes to cooking. So don't sweat the small stuff. Maybe just put a spoonful on each tortilla. Because when this all melds together, and you're going to put it in the oven at 350 for, oh, probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes. This stuff's already cooked anyway. You're just putting the flavors together. So put a little chili in there. This will all spread out eventually. There's that. And then we're going to add cheddar cheese. If you want some other kind of cheese, put out some other kind of cheese on there. That's our first layer. We're going to kind of take that and we're kind of going to spread it out a little bit. About like so. I bet you know what we're going to do now, right? You guessed it. Time for another layer. Now, like I said, I'm going to put tinfoil on this and I'm going to haul it to the church and I'm going to put it in the oven down at the church so it'll be good and hot for the folks tonight when they get there. We got that. What'd I do with my, there it is. My bean spoon. Gonna go at it with the beans again. Just like we did the first one. Doesn't have to be in that order. You can put it in any order you want to. This is good for just we eat this around here at the house in a smaller version. But it's a good hearty, and it's somewhat healthy. There's not anything unhealthy about it. Beans and lots of protein, some cheese. I'm not a big cheese fan, but you know, hey, whatever. So there we got that. Fortify that chili a little bit, because you know that canned chili, they don't put no beef in that. Now if it was my Wendy's copycat chili, we could slap that on there and forget it. There we go with that. More onions. We put jalapenos in ours and all kinds of stuff. You can do that. There's not anything wrong with that. But, you know, when you're feeding a church group, not everybody maybe likes jalapenos or something, you know. So you gotta kind of go with it. What you got? I think we're going to have enough here to make 3 layers, which should be plenty. But it's January here, and it's well, it's January everywhere, isn't it? I guess unless you're like some people that's living on Mars right now. We got some of them. Let's spread this out a little bit. Before we do that, let's put some cheese on there. What do you say? And I figure by the time this rides down to the church, it'll all be compressed down anyway. Church is a pretty good ways down the road for me. kind of spread that out. Works better if you put that cheese on there first. And what we left off, possum salt. We'll put a bunch of that on there. It's got a real good flavor to it. Harold done a good job. If you hadn't checked out the Preacher's Day Off, go over and check him out. Tell him Fitz Preacher Farm sent you. We're going to do one more layer. And we're going to call it good. I don't know how many this will feed. If it feeds them all, great. And they eat it all, great. If they don't, I know some people that'll eat it. I think you get the drift of what we're doing, right? I won't bore you with building another layer, but it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on, I think. I don't know what we call this. I've never named it, so I don't know. Maybe we ought to call it Fitz Preacher Mexican Casserole. I don't know. What do y'all think? But anyway, you get the idea. That's what we're going to do. And we'll get down to the church and we'll put that in the oven at about 350 for probably 45 minutes to an hour. Make sure everything's cooked real good. Everything's already cooked. You're just putting it together. And by putting it together early this way, sometimes those flavors meld together. You know, beans and chili are always better on the second day. So we'll see. But anyway, that's a quick meal for you and an easy meal for, you know, if you got a big crowd to feed. Appreciate y'all watching. Come back and see me. Share, like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. Yeah, that I'm supposed to say, right? Appreciate y'all. See you.